If you are so fed up with LinkedIn, this video is for you. Hey, my name is Megan and welcome back to my channel where I help agency owners, freelancers, and consultants scale their businesses. I share a lot of videos about LinkedIn and how to use it to grow your business, and I recently got this comment on one of my videos. I will remove the name, but here it is. It says, "I don't believe in engagement on LinkedIn. Nobody gives you likes if they don't know you. LinkedIn is hypocrisy. They connect with you just to have connections, but not to support you. After you accept them, they forget about you." Oh, the anger. I can feel it. But you know what? I'm sure this person isn't alone. You know what's been frustrating me lately? TikTok. But we'll save that for another video. Getting engagement on any social media platform can be very challenging, but I want to address this comment, explain why it's inaccurate, and then talk a little bit more about how you can use LinkedIn to your advantage, because it is definitely worth your time. So we've got this first sentence here. I don't believe in engagement on LinkedIn. It's not about your beliefs. LinkedIn's got somewhere in the ballpark of about 800 million members spread across 200 countries and territories all across the globe. Its revenue is increasing. The amount of content that is being shared on the platform is increasing. LinkedIn is a very active platform and it's growing, so there's absolutely a place for you on it. Next, we've got nobody gives you likes if they don't know you. False. Nobody gives you likes if they don't find your content valuable. If you're not getting engagement, there's a reason. Either you are not posting the right type of content for your audience, or you're not providing enough value, or you're not being consistent enough, or you haven't been doing it long enough. I have this video on crafting engaging LinkedIn posts. You might find this helpful, so I will drop that link below. I've also got this video on how often you should be posting on LinkedIn, so I will leave that link below this video as well. You don't need to know your connections. I've never met 99% of the people I'm connected with, probably more, and a lot of people are in the same boat. You don't need to know them to get their engagement. That's the whole point of social networking platforms. It's to introduce you to new people. You're not gonna know most of these people, but it doesn't matter. Think about scrolling through TikTok or Instagram and you see a post you like. Do you look at the person who posted it and check out their profile before you engage with it? Before you like it or comment on it? Probably not. LinkedIn, in this case, is the same. When people see a post that resonates with them, they are likely to engage with it. This is how you expand your network and increase your engagement, by posting stuff that people care about. Next, we've got they connect with you just to have connections, but not to support you. After you accept them, they forget about it. Oi, my friend, I am sending you a big virtual hug. I'm sorry this has happened to you, and you're absolutely right. It's a big problem on all the platforms. A lot of people still wrongly believe that the number of connections or followers or likes you have is the end-all be-all, and that's just not the case. I hope this brings you a little bit of reassurance. People who do that to you gain nothing from having you as a follower or a connection, but not engaging with you, okay? I want to say this again. There is no benefit to having tons of followers that you don't engage with. This is actually a really bad thing. So if there are LinkedIn users out there adding you and then never engaging with you again, they're actually hurting themselves. They're shooting themselves in the foot because LinkedIn wants to see real, genuine interactions between people. This is another reason why engagement pods don't work. I've got a whole video on that, so I will drop the link below. And we've seen this manifest on other platforms as well, so this is nothing out of the ordinary. Let's take Facebook as an example. You can actually run Facebook ads to get more page likes, okay? If you've got a company page or a brand page or whatever, you can run ads, and the objective of the ad can be to increase the number of people who like your page. But here's the problem. When you have tons of page likes, that doesn't necessarily increase the engagement on your posts, on your individual posts. In fact, usually it doesn't. They're two different things. So what actually ends up happening is you increase your number of page likes, but then your engagement stays the same. And then Facebook looks at that and goes, wait a minute, something's off here. This page has 100,000 likes, but their posts are getting 2 likes and 0 comments. There's a huge discrepancy, and that hurts your page. It hurts your account. That's how most platforms work. Of course, Facebook isn't going to tell you that because they want to take your ad money. Your number of LinkedIn connections is one factor. It's one variable in the whole puzzle, all right? People who add you and then never engage with you again, you can't control them, so forget about them. The challenges a lot of people are facing on LinkedIn, you're gonna find it on literally every platform, okay? So if you're not interested in trying to deal with some of these challenges, then building and growing any sort of online business might not be for you. This just comes with the territory. Now, if you do want to give it a shot, my students and I are living, breathing proof that LinkedIn is absolutely worth your time. So here are a few things that have helped me tremendously. Tip number 1, make every interaction count. I don't send invites to people unless I have a really good, really concrete reason to. Normally, I'm connecting with other people who are in my industry in some capacity. So because I have a content agency, I might send invites to writers, editors. I also send invites to people who work for brands that are in my niche, which is health and wellness. As a bonus, when you do this, you're training the algorithm and teaching it what kind of professional you are and what type of people you want to connect with. So when we're talking about making every interaction count, in this case, I'm talking about being intentional with who you send invites to. Now, I'm not saying that you can't send or accept invites from other people. Just don't do that thing that people do when they click all the way down and send a million invites with complete disregard of who they're sending them to. Something else we want to talk about when we're talking about making every interaction count, this is huge, engage with other people's content. LinkedIn is looking at this, okay? And it uses this to kind of separate the people who are using LinkedIn strategically from people who are using it purely for aesthetics. I spend a few minutes every day, which is not that much time, scrolling through my feed and leaving a few thoughtful, intentional comments on other people's posts, okay? And I'm talking about more than great posts. I actually have a conversation with these people. The same thing goes for when I'm sending or responding to direct messages. I have a real conversation with these people. Every interaction counts, and LinkedIn is watching. Tip number 2 is provide value first, ask for favors second. I've had people literally tell me, I posted about my services on LinkedIn and nobody hired me. LinkedIn doesn't work. And there's your problem. Hard selling doesn't work in general, and it definitely doesn't work in this context. People don't want to be sold to. They're still spending money, but they don't want to be blatantly sold to. Your goal with your LinkedIn content should not be to promote or sell. It should be to provide value. And then once you've done that, then you can talk about yourself. The best way to get people's attention online is to give them something they want. So when we're talking about your LinkedIn post, you want to inspire, educate, or entertain them, or some combination of those. You have to give them a reason to care about you and to care about your content, because you have to remember that when you're first starting this relationship, they don't really have a reason to pay attention to you. After you've done that, after you've given them something, then you can ask for something in return. This is a two-way street, so don't be scared to ask. One very simple way to do this is to create your LinkedIn post, provide value first, and at the end, invite people to join the conversation by dropping a comment. And there's your engagement. You give and then you ask. Tip number 3, use your profile as a sales page. Your profile is your chance to shine, and too often I see people kind of haphazardly throw something up and then be done with it because they just don't want to invest the extra time in making it look nice. One thing you want to do is optimize your profile. I have a video and a free guide on this, so I will drop both of those links in the description below. By optimizing your page, you are positioning yourself to show up higher in LinkedIn search results, because remember, LinkedIn is a search engine, okay? Beyond that, you want to take full advantage of your banner image, your headline, and your summary. Those 3 things. I've got videos on each of these, so I won't go into detail now. I will put those links below. Go watch those videos when you're done with this one. Much of what you say on your LinkedIn profile comes down to the wording. From everything I've seen from my students and other professionals, the intent is there. Their motivation is in the right place. They're trying to tell people, this is why you should work with me. But there's a huge difference between, as an example, saying, I am proactive versus giving them an example of maybe one time when you took the initiative to start a campaign that benefited your employer or your client somehow. So instead of just telling them I'm proactive, you're giving them a specific example to really illustrate that. You're making it concrete. Think outside the box. Think of ways that you can show them how amazing you are as opposed to just telling them. Something else you can do that will really help you is put testimonials in your about section. You can go to your current boss, a former boss, a current client, a past client, a current colleague, a previous colleague. Go to anyone you've ever worked with in any capacity and ask if they would be willing to say a few nice things about you, along with providing their name and their company name, or at least their first name, last initial, and make sure they're okay with you sharing that on social media. Do not make the quotes, the testimonials anonymous. You might as well just make them up completely. Don't do that. Is all this stuff I'm talking about going to take you a little extra time? Yeah. And? I mentioned earlier that LinkedIn has somewhere around 800 million users, and LinkedIn compared to other platforms is actually very small, okay? So if you want to stand out online, yeah, you're going to have to put a little extra work in. That's not LinkedIn, that's the internet in general. If you're having a hard time, if you feel like it's taking you longer than it should, I promise you, you are not alone. This stuff isn't always easy, and it usually isn't quick. But my agency wouldn't be where it is without LinkedIn. We're pushing almost $20,000 a month in revenue, and most of my client relationships never would have gotten off the ground if it wasn't for this platform. But you gotta remember that, number one, it's a tool, so your strategy matters. And number two, engagement isn't going to just fall into your lap. You gotta go out and get it. If you wanna learn exactly how my students and I use LinkedIn to grow our businesses, then scroll down below this video and click the link to go learn more about my program, Revenue Spark, where I teach professionals like you how to land clients. If you're interested in speaking with me more, you can click the button on that page and book a call. That's all I've got for you today. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you have any questions, drop them in a comment, and I'll see you next time.